Now the topic on page 107. Individual consciousness and sense objects. So that means different consciousness have different ability to see or to know the sense objects. Now number one, Chakku Vijnana Dvi. Dvi means two, that means the two eye consciousness are aware of the present visible object only. And Sota Vijnana Dvi, the two ear consciousness are aware of the present sound only. So now we have the chart 5.1 describing this in this chart. So if you look at the chart, you can remember better, and you have to know very little. So here on the left side we represent the sense object, and on the right the chaita that can be aware of these sense objects. So from this chart you can see Chakku Vijnana Dvi, the two eye consciousness are aware of the present visible object only. And Sota Vijnana Dvi, the two ear consciousness are aware of the present sound. And Ghana Vijnana Dvi, the two tongue consciousness, the two nose consciousness are aware of the present smell. Jiva Vijnana Dvi, the two tongue consciousness are aware of the present taste. And the two Kaya Vijnana Dvi, body consciousness, are aware of the present tangible objects. So these 10, the Dvi Pancha Vijnana, we call them, they are aware of only the present sense objects. We continued. So we say Manodhatu. So Manodhatu means three consciousness. That is the two Sampadechana Chaita, the two Sampadechana Chaita and Pancha Dwara Vachana. These three, they are known as Manodhatu. And yesterday we have seen that they appear in all the five doors. Because when the sense object appears in any of the five doors, Pancha Dwara Vachana, to take notice of that, to confront it. And then the Sampadechana receives the sense objects. As they appear in the five doors, they are aware of all the present five sense objects. And we go down, the 11, the Dalamana Chaitas. So yesterday we say the Dalamana Chaitas are 3 Sandhirana and 8 Mahavipaka Chaita. And also Hasitupada Chaita. These 12 Chaitas are aware of the 6 karma sense objects. The 6 karma sense objects mean the 54 karma Chaita. So you can see this 54 karma Vachara Chaita. So we call them 54 karma Chaita. And 52, the Chaita seekers that associate with these 54 karma Chaita. So we call them 52 karma Chaita seeker. And then all 28 types of rupa. So these 12 Chaita are aware of, they are more powerful. So we continued. Now, not in this line, the 12 Akusala Chaita. And Mahakusala, Jnana Vibhuta Chaitas, 4 of them. And Mahakriya, Jnana Vibhuta, also 4 Chaita. So these 20 Chaitas can be aware of the 6 Lokiya sense objects. So these sense objects comprise of 81 Lokiya Chaita. So here you can see this 81 Lokiya Chaita. So all the Chaita, 81 Chaita up to this. We call them Lokiya Chaita. Lokiya means mundane, that arise in 3 spheres, sense sphere, 5 material sphere, and the immaterial sphere. So they can be aware of all these 89 Chaita, and the Chaita seekers associate with this Chaita, and also the 28 root materiality, and also concepts. So we go down the next line again. So this time, so we take the 4 Mahakusala Jnana Samyutta Chaitas. and Rupa Kusala Abhinyana Chitta. So Rupa Kusala Abhinyana Chitta means the fifth Rupa Vajra Kusala Chitta associated with supernormal knowledge. So we call that Kusala Abhinyana Chitta. So these five, the consciousness, they are aware of all six sense objects except only Abhidhamma and Phala. So these sense objects mean all chittas except Abhidhamma and Phala, and the 52 Cetasika that associate with this chitta, and all materiality, that is 28 types of materiality, concepts, and also Nibbana. So you can see they are very powerful. The Mahakusala Jnana Samyutta Chaitas are more powerful than Mahakusala Jnana Vipyuta Chaitas. So can you raise the chart a little bit? Thank you. So now we go to the next line again. So this time, we come to this. So there is 4 Mahakriya Jnana Samyutta Chaita. So remember, Mahakriya Chaitas are the Chaita that arise in Arahats. So they are more powerful. And then Kriya Abhinyana Chaita. Kriya Abhinyana Chaita is again, it is the 5th Rupa Vajra Kriya Chaita associated with supernormal power. So, and then Manodwara Vachana Chaita. So these chaitas can be aware of all 6 sense objects, comprising 89 chaitas, and 52 Cetasika associate with them, 28 types of materiality and concept, and also Nibbana. So the next line, the 15 Rupa Vajra chaitas, with the exception of the 2 Abhinyana chaita. So the 2 Abhinyana chaita, this Kriya Abhinya and the Kusala Abhinya. So except the 2. So this 15 Rupa Vajra Jhana, this 15 Rupa Vajra Jhana, they are the Jhana chaitas. So they take only concepts as the sense object. So this concept would be the countersign. The counter, where we are. So here, this concept is the countersign of these 26 meditation objects. These are actually 26 meditation objects that can develop Rupa Vajra Jhana. So they are the 10 kasina, 10 asubha, that in 10 kinds of corpses. Kaya kata sati is meditation on 32 parts of the body, and anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing, and then 4 Brahma Vihara. You remember the sublime abodes of living, Metta, Gruna, Mudita, Upekha. So they take the countersigns of these meditation subjects. Then we are going to describe the 12 Arupa Vajra Chaitas. These 12 Arupa Vajra Chaitas. You have already seen actually 3 Akasananjayarana Chaita. So when we say 3 Akasananjayarana Chaita, you should know they means the Akasananjayarana Kusala Chaita, Akasananjayarana Vipaka Chaita, and Akasananjayarana Kriya Chaita. So these chaitas, they take only Akasa, space, as their object. Now we already learned this when we talk about the chaita. And also 3 Akenchanyayarana chaitas, they take Nachikenchi, that means nothingness, as their object. And 3 Vainyananjayarana chaita, they take the Akasananjayarana Kusala chaita or Kriya chaita as their object. And 3 Neva Sanyana Sanyayarana Kusala chaita, they take these Akenchanyayarana Kusala or Kriya chaita as their objects. Then the 8 Lokuttara Chaita. 8 Lokuttara Chaita consisting of 4 Mega Chaitas and 4 Phala Chaita. They are aware of only Nibbana. And then we have 19 rebirth consciousness, 19 life continuum consciousness, 19 death consciousness that we discussed yesterday. So we say they are aware of the near-death sign, the near-death sign of the past life. We call it Maranasana Namitta. So the Namitta can be in the form of karma, the karma that's going to produce the next the existence, or karma Namitta, that is the objects you observe during performing that karma. And then Gadi Namitta is a sign of destiny, that is a sign connected with the place you are going to be reborn. So we finished that topic. So we can go to the next page, 108. And then in the middle, the topic is Vattu Sangaha. Now Vattu means physical base, depending on which the various chaitas and their associate mental factors arise. There are 6 such physical bases. One, Chakku Vattu, is the eye base, and Chakku Pasada represents the Chakku Vattu. And Sota Vattu is the ear base. Sota is ear, Vattu is base, physical base, so we just say ear base. And it is Sota Pasada, materiality, clear materiality in the ear. Gana Vattu is the nose base, and it is Gana Pasada, clear materiality in the nose. Jiva Vattu is the tongue base, so it is Jiva Pasada, the clear materiality in the tongue. Kaya Vattu is the body base, so it is clear. It represents Kaya. It is represented by Kaya Pasada, clear materiality in the body. And Hadya Vattu is the physical base that exists in the blood of the heart, and we call it the heart base. Hadya Vattu is the heart base. And all these Pasada Rupa and the heart, Hadya Vattu, they are produced by karma. They are among the karma-born materiality. Now, in the last paragraph of that page, so we describe the simile of striking a match. The match is a striking element. The rough surface of the matchbox is the receiving element, and the flame that arises is the resultant element. Now the flame does not exist anywhere before striking the match. When the conditions for its arising are fulfilled, the flame arises. So I have told you this example before. So we say in the same way, eye consciousness does not exist any place. Does not exist any place. Now, when a visible object appears on the clear materiality in the eye, that we call Chakku Pasada. Chakku Pasada. So, when the visible object is called the striking element, and this clear materiality, Chakku Pasada, is the receiving element. So, when they strike there, eye consciousness and its associate mental factors arise at the striking point, just like the flame arises at the striking point. So also here, it arises at the Chakku Pasada, where the sense object strike that Chakku Pasada. So eye conscious and mental factors, they just arise for one conscious moment. As soon as they arise, then they dissolve, they disappear. So that means it doesn't exist anywhere. It doesn't go to anywhere, it just disappears. So only when the conditions exist, they will arise. The condition here is the contact between the sense object and the Chakupasada, the eye door. So we call Chakupasada the eye door because visible object appears there. So we call it the eye door. Now again, that eye conscious and mental factors, they arise at that striking point, we say, that is on the Chakupasada. So they depend on this Chakupasada for their arising. So we call Chakupasada the eye base. So Chakupasada is both the eye door and the eye base. Now in the same way, when the sound strikes the clear materiality in the ear, we call Sota Pasada. So this clear materiality in the ear will exist in the eardrum. Then we say eye conscious and mental factors arises. So because the sound appears at that the chakra, the Sota Pasada, we call Sota Pasada the ear door. And ear conscious and mental factor, they arise at the striking point and they depend on that Sota Pasada for their arising. So Sota Pasada is both the ear door and the ear base. The same thing, Ghana Pasada is both the nose door and the nose base. Jiva Pasada is both the tongue door and the tongue base. Kaya Pasada is both the body door and the body base. Hadyawatu is the heart base. Hadyawatu is the heart base that arises in the blood of the heart. So we go to the next topic again. Physical bases in 3 spheres. 1 in the 11 karma planes that we call the sense sphere. All the 6 bases want to exist. All the 6 want to exist in us. We have all the eye base, the ear base, the nose base, we have all of them. Now when you go to number 2, in the 5 material sphere, that is the Rupa realms, in the Rupa realms, they have only 3 bases. They have only 3 bases. That is the eye base, the ear base, and the heart base. So that they don't have the nose base, the tongue base, and the body base. It is due to the power of meditation, not to attain Rupa Vajra Jhana. So now we are doing Anapanasati to attain Rupa Vajra Jhana. So when we do this meditation, we have to control our mind, to focus on the meditation object, that is the in-breath and out-breath all the time. We don't allow our mind to go to other sense object. That is, we are not preventing the sense pleasure from arising. We give away sense pleasure. So when we attain Rupa Vajra Jhana, and when this Jhana Kama bear result, we are born as Rupa Brahma. So when you are born as Rupa Brahma, you don't enjoy sense pleasure anymore. So as you don't enjoy sense pleasure, you don't have the nose base, the tongue base, and the body base. So if you have the tongue, you don't have the tongue base, that means you don't enjoy any food. So actually, the Brahmas do not eat anything. Do not eat anything. So if you are attached to the Chinese noodles, you cannot eat them in the Brahma realm. And then, as they don't have the body base, that means they don't enjoy the touch or tangible object. Just as like the touch between the males and female. So you may ask, then don't they have any the sexual pleasure? No, they don't enjoy it. They don't even have the female organs or the male organs. They have very big bodies, they look like they are the males, but they are neither males or female. No? So very good. No? As they don't eat anything, they don't drink anything, so they don't need those organs. No? They don't have to go to the toilet. So very good. But they want to see the Buddha. No? Even when they become the Brahma, they like to see the Buddha and they like to listen to the Dhamma. And because of that, they have the eye base and the ear base. And the heart base is necessary because all those jhana chaita that arise in Brahma depend on the heart base for their arising. Now in number 3, in the immaterial sphere, that means arupa Brahma realms, no vatu exists because no materiality exists there, again due to the meditation power of samatha bhavana to develop arupa jhanas. So I explained to you, now when we try to develop the arupa vajra chaitas, so we say you have to reflect on the force of materiality. And then you focus on akasa space to develop akasa nanjayarana chaita. And then you focus on that akasa nanjayarana chaita to develop vinyananjayarana chaita. And then you focus on nothingness to develop these akinchanyayarana chaita. And you focus on these akinchanyayarana chaita to develop neva sanyana sanyayarana chaita. So when arupa jhana kama, where is that? You are born as arupa Brahma with no body, no materiality, only minds. So arupa Brahma, they don't have any bodies. So these minds do not, they can arise without depending on any physical base because they don't have any materiality. So they can arise because of this, the meditation power we say. But those arupa vajra jhana chaitas, they have to cling to the sense object. As we say, on space or on vijnana or on nothingness. They have to take the sense object for their arising. Now the bottom topic, consciousness element. So we call vijnana dhatu. Vijnana means chaita, consciousness, and dhatu means element. An element is something which carries its own characteristic mark, but it is not a living being. So now all the 89 chaitas will be described as 7 consciousness elements. So when we say the chaitas are element, we should know that these chaitas, they have their own characteristics, but they are not living beings. They are not living beings. So number 1, chakku vijnana dhatu. So if you make the right translation, it would be eye consciousness element. So it means the 2 eye consciousness, and these eye consciousness depend on chakku vatu, that is the eye base, for their arising. The same thing, sota vijnana dhatu is ear consciousness element. So it means the 2 ear consciousnesses, and the 2 ear consciousnesses depend on sota vatu, the ear base for their arising. Yes. Number 3, grana vijnana dhatu, nose consciousness element. So it means the 2 nose consciousness which depend on grana vatu, the nose base for their arising. Jiva vijnana dhatu is tongue consciousness element, and it means the 2 tongue consciousnesses which depend on jiva vatu, the tongue base for their arising. Kaya vijnana dhatu is body consciousness element. So they refer to the two body consciousness which depend on kaya wattu, the body base, for their arising. Number 6, mano dhatu is the mind element. It consists of pancha dwaravajana chitta and the two sambhadicana chittas. They depend on hadyawattu, the heart base, for their arising. And number 7, mano vijnana dhatu, mind consciousness element, and it refers to 76 chitta. So 1 to 5, you get 10 dvipancha vijnana chitta. And number 6 refers to 3 mind elements. So you have 13 chitta there. So if you subtract the total this 13 from the total chittas 89, you get 76 chitta. So these 76 chittas are known as mind conscious element, and they also depend on the hadyawattu, the heart base, for their arising. So if you combine 6 and 7, 3 mind elements and 76 mind conscious elements, so altogether 79 chittas depend on the heart base for their arising. So if I ask you the question, where does the mind exist? What is your answer? Where does the mind exist? Nowhere. Nowhere. It does not exist anywhere. No, we say the eye consciousness arises only when visible object strikes the eye. Just a moment, not at the eye. Ear consciousness arises in the ear, just a moment. Nose consciousness arises in the nose, tongue consciousness arises in the tongue, and body consciousness arises on the body base. The body base exists all over the body. Wherever you touch, if you know the touch, so that kaya vijnana chitta will arise there. So the consciousness can arise in the whole body. But only 10 of them, 10 dvipancha vijnana arise in these five sense door. Now 79 chitta, they arise in the heart, depending on in the heart, depending on the heart base. So remember, the heart base is not the mind door. No, the mind door is what? Bhuvinga chitta. No, but when mind door is bhuvinga jajja, that depend on the heart base, in the heart, for its arising. Yes. So we come to the last topic of this chapter, classification of consciousness according to physical base. So we can see this better from the chart. So it is chart number 5.2. So you can look also on the chart in your book. So we give the chart here. So the name of the wattus are given here. So we say Chakku Wattu here, not the eye base. And here you can see two eye consciousness, Chakku Vijnana Dvi. So that means the two eye consciousness depend on the eye base for their arising. And the two Soda Vijnana, ear consciousness, depend on the Soda Wattu, the ear base for their arising. And the two Gana Vijnana Chitta, two nose consciousnesses, depend on Gana Wattu, the nose base for their arising. Two Jiva Vijnana, so that is the two tongue consciousness, depend on Jiva Wattu, the tongue base for the arising. And two Kaya Vijnana Chitta, so that means the two body consciousness depend on Kaya Wattu, the body base for the arising. So these 10 consciousnesses, they always depend on the Wattu, the basic physical basis for their arising. So we can go to the next line. So there are 33 chittas that always depend on the heart base, Hadya Wattu, for their arising. So what are those 33 chittas? So they consist two dosa mula chittas. Please read. And then 3 Manodhatu, mind elements, and 3 Santirana, investigating consciousness, and Hasitupada, the smiling consciousness of Buddha and Arahat, and 8 Mahavipaka Chetas, and 15 Rupavachara Chetas, and Sotapati Mega Chetas. So this 10 plus 33, no? So that amount to 43 Chetas. They always depend on physical basis for their arising. And there are 42 Chetas that does not always depend on Hadyavatu for their arising. So these 42 Chetas, no, they arise in the sense sphere and also in the Rupa Brahma realms. So when they arise in, you know, in these two spheres, they depend on Hadyavatu for their arising. But these 42 Cheta also arise in Arupa Brahma. So when they arise in Arupa Brahma, we have already discussed, they do not depend on Hadyavatu, because Arupa Brahma do not have any materiality. So what are these 42? So they consist of 8 Lobha Mula Cheta, 2 Moha Mula Chetas, and then Manodwara Vajana Cheta, and 8 Mahakusala Chetas, 8 Mahakriya Chetas, and 4 Arupa Vajara Kusala Cheta. Yes? Arupa Kusala Cheta, and 4 Arupa Kriya Chetas, and what do we say? 7 Lokuttara Cheta, with the exception of Sotapati Mega Cheta. So Sotapati Mega Cheta does not arise in the Arupa realm. But the higher 3 Mega Cheta and all the 4 Phala Cheta can arise in Arupa Brahma. There are 4 Chetas. 4 Chetas. That means the 4 Arupa Vajara Vipaka Cheta. So these 4 Cheta do not depend on any heart base, because these 4 Cheta arise only in Arupa Brahmas. So Arupa Vipaka Chetas serve as rebirth consciousness, life continuum, and death consciousness of the Arupa Brahmas. So we can also say from here, this 4 and this 42 Cheta, altogether 46 Cheta, that can arise in the Arupa Brahmas. Dosa Mula Cheta do not arise in Brahmas. Even in the like the Rupa Brahma and Arupa Brahma, they do not arise. Because Dosa Mula Cheta is accompanied by Domanasa Vedana, painful mental feeling. So if it arises in Brahma, the Brahma bodies, not just like Rupa Brahma, their bodies are very subtle. They are bound to death. So if it arises in Arupa Brahma also die. So for us, though we are having Dosa Mula Cheta, so we are used to that pain. We don't even know the pain anymore. Now we can go to chapter 4. So it is cognitive series. In Pali we say Vichi. So the description is the continuation of chapter 3. So if you understand chapter 3, then you will understand this chapter 4 very easily. So the first topic we say process of consciousness. So Vichi means a chain of consciousness, and we call this cognitive series that arises when a sense object appears at one of the sense doors in order to be aware of the sense object. As the road passes one village after another without skipping any, nor changing the order of the villages. So also the consciousness rise one after another in the order they should, according the law of consciousness, Citta Niyama. Now the next topic is the lifespan of consciousness. Consciousnesses arise and dissolve in a person at a tremendous rate of more than 8,000 billion per eye wing. And some scholar they suggest there are about 250 eye wings in a second. So the lifespan of the consciousness is less than 1,000 billionth of 1 second. As the lifespan is very short, so the lifespan or duration of the Citta is measured by 3 short moments or instants of the distinct features in the arising and passing away of a Citta. These are Upada, the genetic sub-moment, or we also call it the arising sub-moment of the consciousness. Chiti is the existing sub-moment of the consciousness. Banga is the perishing sub-moment or dissolving sub-moment. So these 3 sub-moments in Pali we call khanas are said to be equal to 1 moment of consciousness or 1 consciousness moment. That is, in Pali we call Citta Khana. So from here you can see the lifespan of 1 consciousness is 3 sub-moment, 3 sub-moment, 3 khana, or 1 consciousness moment, 1 Citta Khana, 1 Citta Khana. That is the lifespan of a consciousness. Now, the next topic on page 113, the lifespan of materiality. The lifespan of rupa or materiality is 17 times longer than the lifespan of Citta. So we can say the lifespan of rupa is equal to 17 Citta Khanas or 17 consciousness moments. Now as there are 3 sub-moments in 1 conscious moment, so if you multiply 17 by 3, you get 51 sub-moments. Thus, rupa also arises and dissolves at a tremendous rate of more than 58 billion times per second. So I got this 58 billion times by dividing 1,000 billion with 17. You get this. Now the difference between Citta and rupa is that Citta arises one after another. No 2 Citta arise at the same time in 1 person. Citta always arise one after another and without any lapse in time. Whereas rupa arises by several units at a sub-moment. So that means rupa can arise at every sub-moment. At every sub-moment. And rupa are produced by 4 causes. So the Buddha, he also described the causes for the arising of materiality. So we have already seen Kamaja Rupa. Kamaja Rupa. And in that chart I told you, Kamaja Rupa, no, not in the chart. Oh yes. So we told you Kamaja Rupa arises at every sub-moment. At the arising sub-moment, existing sub-moment, and the dissolving sub-moment of 1 consciousness. So every sub-moment it is arising. So when their lifespan of 17 conscious moment is complete, they will dissolve. They will dissolve. And rupa is also produced by Citta. We call Cittija Rupa. Cittija Rupa means mind-born materiality. So these mind-born materiality are produced only at the arising moment of each consciousness. And then we have heat-born. You can move this a little bit on the right, if you can. So we say it is the Udduja Rupa. Uddu means heat, produced by heat at every sub-moment. And also produced by Ahara. Ahara means nutriment. So science knows only this. That material molecules in our body, material cells, are produced from the food we eat. The science knows only this one. Science does not know about the causes of materiality by these three causes. So materiality can arise by several units and even sub-moment. And why they exist? These materiality, like we say at every sub-moment they arise by several units, and after they arise, they can exist up to 17 conscious moment. So during that 17 conscious moment, many materiality also arise again. So materiality can group up together into big masses, even up to like the earth, the sun, the planets. Then we can see materiality. Now when they group up into big particle, big lumps. But in the case of chitta, they arise only one at a time, and they exist only for one sub-moment, and then they dissolve. So it would be very difficult to see consciousness. But we can see them in Vipassana meditation. And we can know in Vipassana meditation that the chittas are arising and dissolving very, very rapidly. So please look at the third paragraph of that, the topic of the lifespan of materiality. The genetic sub-moment and the dissolving sub-moment of materiality last for one sub-moment each. So the existing moment of rupa lasts for 49 sub-moments. So in the case of the citta, we say one sub-moment for arising, one sub-moment for existing, and one sub-moment for dissolving. Now for rupa, one sub-moment, the same as the citta, one sub-moment for the arising, and 49 sub-moments for their existing, and one sub-moment for dissolving. So we say during their exist for 49 sub-moments, other materiality are arising, many material arising during that time, so they group together into big masses, so we can see materiality when they become masses. Now the next topic is 6 types of consciousness. Consciousness may be classified as follows, according to the 6 sense doors and the 6 physical bases. Now we have seen, like the Chakku Dwara, the eye door, and Chakku Vatu, the eye base. So now we have Chakku Vijnana. So it refers to the 2 eye consciousness. Sota Vijnana refers to 2 ear consciousnesses. Ghana Vijnana refers to 2 nose consciousness. Jiva Vijnana refers to 2 tongue consciousnesses. Kaya Vijnana refers to 2 body consciousness. And Mano Vijnana refers to the remaining 79 consciousness, mind consciousness. Then we also have 6 types of cognitive series according to the 6 sense door or the 6 types of vijnana. So on page 114, we describe Chakku Dwara Vichi, and we can also call it Chakku Vijnana Vichi. So it is the cognitive series of consciousness connected with the eye door or with the eye consciousness. So what it actually means is when a visible object strikes the eye, and appears in the eye, a series of consciousness must arise to know the sense object. So this series of consciousness that arise in connection with the eye door is called Chakhu Dwara Vichi. So Chakhu Dwara Vichi, if you translate directly, what would you say? Eye door cognitive series. As eye consciousness arise in this series, so it is also known as Chakhu Vijnana Vichi. Yeah. Number 2, Sota Dwara Vichi. That means ear door cognitive series. It also means Sota Vijnana Vichi, ear consciousness cognitive series. It is the cognitive series of consciousness that arises when a sound appears in the ear door. In number 3, Ghana Dwara Vichi, nose door cognitive series, also means Ghana Vijnana Vichi, nose consciousness cognitive series. It is the cognitive series that arises when the smell appears in the nose door. Jiva Dwara Vichi is tongue door cognitive series, and Jiva Vijnana Vichi means tongue consciousness cognitive series. It is the cognitive series that arises in the tongue door when the taste appears in the door. And then Kaya Dwara Vichi is body door cognitive series, or Kaya Vijnana Vichi, body consciousness cognitive series. It is the cognitive series in the rise in the body door when a touch, the touch or tangible object appears at the door. Then Mano Dwara Vichi is mind door cognitive series, also known as Mano Vijnana Vichi, mind consciousness cognitive series. It is the cognitive series when the sense object appears in the mind door. Okay. So we take the lunch break now. We shall meet again at 1 p.m. We are on page 114. So in the middle of the page, the topic, the causes for the arising of cognitive series. 4 conditions must exist for the arising of Chakhu Dwara Vichi, eye door cognitive series. So this Chakhu Pasada, the eye door must be good. So if Chakhu Pasada is damaged or do not arise in you, you are blind. No, you are blind and you cannot see. Rupa Ramana, visible object, must be present. So we have seen that the visible object must strike the eye, that is Chakhu Pasada, for the arising of cognitive series. And aloka, light, must also be present. So if it is completely dark, we cannot see. And manasikara, attention, must be present. And you remember, we have 2 apprehending consciousness. So we call Pancha Dwara Vachana, 5 door directing consciousness, and Mano Dwara Vachana, mind door apprehending consciousness. So they take notice of the sense object that appears in the 5 doors and in the mind door. So when we say they take notice, they pay attention to the sense object. It is manasikara, chidasika, that presence in them. So pay attention to the sense object. So if they don't take notice of the sense object that appears in the door, so cognitive series will not arise. Only when they take notice. So it is also essential. Number 2, 4 similar conditions must exist for the arising of Sota Dwara Vichi, ear door cognitive series. Sota Pasada, the ear door must be good. So it is sota pasada is damaged or absent. You are deaf and you cannot hear. Saddha ramana, the sound must be present. Akasa, space for the passing of the sound must be present. If you are in a soundproof room, the sound cannot get into you, so you cannot hear. And again, manasikara, attention, must be present. Number 3, 4 conditions must also exist for the arising of gandha, agana, dwara, viti, nose door, cognitive series. Gana basada, the nose door must be good. Gandha ramana, the smell must be present. And vayo, the air that carries the smell, must be present. And manasikara, attention, must be present. Number 4 conditions must also exist for the arising of jiva, dwara, viti, tongue door, cognitive series. Jiva pasada, the tongue door, must be good. Rasa ramana, the taste must be present. And apo, liquid element. No? So here we mean the saliva must be present. So when you eat like the fried chicken, if you just put the fried chicken on the tongue, you don't know the taste yet. No? You have to chew it. So when you chew the meat, it dissolves in the saliva and it seeps into the tongue and now get contact with the jiva vasada. Then only you know the taste. So the longer you chew, the better the taste and the better the digestion. So it's good for your health also. And also manasikara, attention must be present.